2.6-mile circuit by the sand dunes and by the north coast is fast and very tough on tyres. And this is a very significant race for the new John Player Special Turbo cars, and the Tollmans look for the first time as though they can significantly challenge the Ferraris, the Brabhams and the Renaults, which have dominated this year's Grand Prix so far. And another significant thing is that the Dutch Grand Prix could virtually settle this year's Drivers' Championship. But although Alain Prost leads Nelson Piquet by 14 points with 4 rounds to go, he's far from home and dry. And both the Ferrari drivers, René Arnoux and Patrick Tambay, still vie with Prost to become the first French world champion. And with only 3 points between Renault and Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship, either of them could finish at the top. But none of the others seem likely to do so, sadly, including the impressive McLaren team, who last won here in 1976 with a jubilant James Hunt at the wheel. But today starts a new era for McLaren. The first race for their new turbo car with its Porsche-designed TAG turbo engine and the great Niki Lauda driving it. Niki, you came back to racing last year. You won 2 Grand Prix, but this year you have only finished in a few. Has it been very disheartening for you?
It was very boring because, as you know, the Cosworth engines really came to an end. Turbo power is the only way you can basically win races. So thank God we decided to get the TAG turbo in our car. We're here the first time with a brand new car, with a brand new engine, the first time at a race meeting after very little testing. So you can't really expect too much because it's a long development program we have to carry out.
Well, what are your feelings about the car, having driven it and qualified it?
I'm very happy that we got it here. This is the first thing. But as I said, to develop an engine and a car to it is a very huge program. So we are right in the beginning to it. We have to use the next 3-4 races to get all information we need and to work hard over the winter to give us a real race winner for next year.
What are you hoping for here in Holland?
I really hope to finish a race, because if we could finish the race here with a brand new turbo engine, I think this nobody has done before. So what I really want to do this afternoon is race and hope to finish, because this will be a big success for us.
So what will be your tactics when the flag falls?
Tactics will be as quick as I can, because you can't really give the engine a running in time because there's no time for it. So I will drive as hard as I can. And as I said, if the engine breaks, I'm not upset, because that's basically normal. But if it would finish, I would be really happy.
Niki, what about 1984? Will you be driving for McLaren again?
I will drive for McLaren again in '84. I have a contract which committed me to do so. And I want to say one thing. Everybody really tried very hard to get that car here in Zandvoort, McLaren, Porsche and the Bosch people. We got the car here even late because I think the mechanics worked on the ferry over to Holland, still finishing the car. So I think they really did a great effort. And I think it's worth doing so, because we really have to get it going and to be able to win next year.
So that means that you sound very optimistic about doing well next year.
I'm very optimistic that now I have the same baseline as my colleagues, because I didn't have that with the Cosworth. Now I have at least the turbo engine. Now it will depend on the team and Porsche, how quick we are able to sort the things so out that we are the quickest car on the circuit.
Well, thank you for talking to us. Now you want some lunch before the race, yes?
I'll have another 10 minutes, thank you.
Thank you, Niki. Today, Lauda is only 19th on the grid with his brand new car. With Nelson Piquet in pole position, Tambay second, De Angelis third, Prost fourth, Mansell fifth, Patrese sixth, and Warwick seventh. Watson's 15th and world champion Keke Rosberg is down at 23rd. But with 5 different makes in the top 7 and so much at stake, the prospects are indeed exciting. Well, here is the sight here in Holland, and there is Nelson Piquet in pole position. Very dramatic, because at the end of the warm-up period today, he decided his engine needed changing, and it has only just been finished. Will it be all right for the race? Number 15, Alain Prost, the little Frenchman who's won 4 Grand Prix this year, leading the World Championship, 4th on the grid. Nigel Mansell waving to all of us, and I suspect doing the ovette to his wife, Roseanne, who is actually here. That is René Arnoux, the diminutive Frenchman, not the most popular man with his teammate Patrick Tambay at the moment. for exactly the same reason that he was not the most popular man with his previous teammate Alain Prost with Renault last year, because Patrick Tambay reckons that René Arnoux charged through in one of the previous races, went through to win, and number 35 there, Derek Warwick, very optimistic in the turbocharged Tolman. Now they're just waiting for the grid to form, then Derek Ongaro, the official starter, will give them the red, and then in less than 7 seconds the green. They're very slow forming up at the back. I hope the clutches are perfectly okay. The front cars, this is an inordinately long start. They're getting the OK flag. Derek Ongaro gives it the red. It's green. It's go for 72 laps. And Prost bursts out. Piquet's away. Cheever is up into second position ahead of Prost. So it's Piquet, Cheever, Prost, Patrese, and Tambay. Patrick Tambay is in trouble at the start, but leading away, it is Nelson Piquet with the two Renaults behind him, then his teammate, then De Cesaris, then the two JPS Renaults. Patrick Tambay down, and don't forget that René Arnoux in the second Ferrari only started in 10th position. There he is. And the tail enders coming through, and so we're on to lap 1.
Yes, I would think Tambay probably had trouble with his clutch there at the start. As you rightly said, they were held a long time, Murray, on the start, and that was really the fault of the back markers for not coming up onto the grid. And in fact, I think that the starter should have used his discretion and got them underway anyway from that position. But Tambay may have burned his clutch. Now, it's a tricky thing here. If his clutch is slipping, what you can do is just put it in a low gear and cruise around slowly and let the clutch cool down. It may then weld itself to the flywheel, but you've at least got power to the back wheels then, and you can drive without a clutch. This happens. Let's see if he can do that, because he seemed to be rolling all right once they got away. In the meantime, a clean start. Piquet driven good, comfortable first lap. He's got a bit of a lead.
Prost, and you see Piquet's gearbox or something bottoming and throwing up sparks as he goes into Tarzan. So it's the World Championship leader, Prost in third place, his teammate Cheever ahead of him, Piquet leading, Patrese there in fourth position, then De Cesaris is in fifth place, there is Jarier, Jean-Pierre Jarier out of the race. René Arnoux is the man to watch in this race. He's in third position in the World Championship. He's won in Canada this year and in Germany this year. 34 points. Now, there's Piquet, Cheever, Prost, Patrese, first, second, third, fourth, and Prost is going through and taking second place in a very clean manoeuvre from Eddie Cheever. But this is the race. There goes Piquet. His second position in the World Championship. There's Prost, De Cesaris in the background. It looks as though his car hasn't got much longer to go. And René Arnoux is closing up on the Italian, who is now touring and is about to be passed, I think, by Arnoux, as Cheever has got Patrese pushing him, and Arnoux is now up into fifth position. And Patrick Tambay, of course, is right down in 20th position. And here are Cheever now with Patrese. Now Patrese is going to challenge at Tarzan, which is a very quick, long hairpin into the pit. And this is the end of lap 5. Comes Andrea De Cesaris. Is he out of the race? I'm pretty sure he is. And we'll soon see. So Piquet leads. Prost is now second, Cheever is now third, Patrese is right behind him in fourth position, René Arnoux is fifth. The race is developing very nicely, and Derek Warwick is up into sixth place. There's Andrea De Cesaris, definitely out. Lap 3, Jarier out. Lap 5, De Cesaris out.
We should keep an eye out for John Watson, who's moving quietly through the field and picking up places. What is now up to 30th place, and he's only in the Cosworth engine car. He doesn't have the advantage of the turbo that Nick has got, albeit in the brand new chassis. And he went very well indeed in the warm-up this morning. John Watson was extremely quick in race trim, and expect to see him move up the field. His big problem, of course, is with the Cosworth engine. He hasn't got the power to do the passing, and Zandvoort is no easy circuit to pass on, even if you've got a lot of power. As you can see with this duo here, with Eddie Cheever and Riccardo Patrese. Patrese's been climbing all over the back at Cheever, but he can't quite get himself close enough. Now they're coming through the last little chicane. They got the run up to the fast right-hander onto the main straight, and that's where Pete, now it's up here and through this corner that Petresi's got to get really close and do well. Now he's not close enough, and he's not going to pick up the toe. On to the leaders with Cheever and Petresi just appearing in the background now. Petresi is following, he's getting close, and he's got a good slingshot as Eddie Cheever, and he's clean through.
Here's a replay of Riccardo Petresi going through and taking third position from Eddie Cheever, who had already, of course, been passed by Alain Prost to enable Prost to move up into second position. So Cheever has lost 2 places. Now look at René Arnoux. It is probably the fastest man on the circuit at the moment. But whilst he's a tremendous charger, and we now look at Stefan Johansson. And behind him is John Watson going through. Stefan Johansson being taken by John Watson at Tarzan. And that means to say that John Watson, who, as James said, was incredibly quick in the warm-up, because he was in 5th position with 15 to... There's Lauda. There's Lauda. That's the first race shot we've seen of number 8, Niki Lauda, in the new McLaren Tag Turbo, behind Michele Alboreto and Manfred Winkelhock. Now, 14 laps completed. And Arnoux is ahead of Cheever. Now he's got Petresi to catch.
Here we are, we see it again. There's Arnoux squeezing down the inside, and Cheever really leaning on him a bit, but all's well, and they get through.
We are on lap 20. Piquet is leading. Prost is in second position. Behind Arnoux is Cheever in 5th position. Then it's Warwick 6th and Mansell 7th. Watson is in 8th place and Baldi is in 9th. In 10th is Winkelhock, 11th is Patrick Tambay, and in 12th place now is Niki Lauda. A great drive. Now we look at Jacques Lafitte and Alboreto, and now René Arnoux right in the pit lane, fairly dotting about, left, right, all over Riccardo Petresi. They're going down to Tarzan, and Riccardo Petresi holds his line, coolly brakes, and keeps Petresi back.
Here we go, you see Petresi taking the inside line down the straight, forcing Arnoux to go outside him. He then moves over a bit. Arnoux doesn't get the daylight, so he's back down the inside, looking first one side, then the other. Petresi holds it. Let's hope they stay locked like that for a couple of laps, because that was terrific stuff. Yes, they're both quite hot-headed, these 2 drivers. If they keep doing that for long, they're going to bang each other. They're both capable of it. But this is where it's important. Arnoux now needs to keep very close to Petresi to get a good sling, and he's in perfect position to get the toe. If anything, he's a little bit too close and won't take full benefit from it, because he doesn't want to arrive with the toe too soon on the straight. But it seems, which is interesting, that the Brabham, Petresi's Brabham, seems to have a straight line speed advantage, but Arnoux's forced his way through. He couldn't hold him on the straight, but he's fought his way through, and that looks like it's for Petresi. Except, of course, we got a couple of back markers in front, and Arnoux's a man in a hurry. And here we go, we see it again. You see, he couldn't make any impression on Petresi on the straight, but he just shut his eyes and did the real late-breaking stuff.
As we look at Cheever now catching Riccardo Petresi, so it looks as though Petresi's going to lose another place. He's about to lose 4th place, I think, to Eddie Cheever. It's Piquet leading, Prost 2nd, Arnoux 3rd, Petresi 4th and Cheever 5th, and they're the 2 we're looking at. Niki Lauda's in trouble. Niki Lauda is in trouble. We'll look for confirmation on it. Here he is, coming into the pits on lap 26. Niki Lauda comes into the pits. He's slowed right down. Is it trouble or is it a routine pit stop? Now you look at the new device at the front. They're pulling that foam away. That device at the front is a gas-operated jack. And I've maligned McLaren and Tag and Niki Lauda. He wasn't in trouble. He was just touring to come in to make his pit stop. There is Ron Dennis and John Barnard gesticulating at the front of the car. I take it all back. He is in trouble. And so the Tag turbo-powered McLaren, and off goes Nigel Mansell. Elio De Angelis already out of the race. Nigel Mansell spins. He's out of the race. He won't be able to restart his car.
just get an action replay here. Nigel Mansell back got away from him, just turning into the corner, and he spins off amidst a cloud of sand dunes. Of course, circuit right by the sea here, in amongst the dunes.
Yes, and one very disheartened Niki Lauda out of the car. His ambition, as I said, of being the first driver to finish his first race in a turbocharged Grand Prix car has not been realised. We've had the news from the McLaren pits that Niki Lauda's retirement was caused by brakes. So while that will be disheartening for them, it will be extremely heartening that the first time the Porsche designed tag engine's been used, there wasn't any trouble from that. And we're looking at the scrap between Patrese there, Chiva there for fourth position. And we hypothesize as ever that if Sura and Boutsen don't smartly get out of the way, this could give Eddie Chiva in fifth position his chance to make it to fourth. Derek Warwick is still there in the turbocharged Coleman. He's now 43 seconds in sixth position behind Nelson Piquet. But if he finishes in the points, it will be a very, very happy Derek Warwick, and it will be an overjoyed Tolman team because they've yet to do that. Now, here's the Brabham BMW, which produces about 620 horsepower in race trim, ahead of the similarly powered Renault, the Brabham a straight 4, the Renault a V6, both turbocharged, gaining on two of the comparatively few now Ford DFV V8 unturbocharged, non-turbocharged cars in the race. There they are, the two white cars. The one immediately in front of them, Sura. The one in front of him is teammate Thierry Boutsen, who has proved since he started his Grand Prix career in Belgium that he's a very, very fine driver in his first season of Grand Prix racing. Piquet, Prost, Arnoux, Patrese, Chiva, Watson. You see the gaps for yourselves. John Watson in sixth position, that says, ahead of Derek Warwick. We're looking for checking whether anything has happened to Derek Warwick after I had just said how happy he would be to finish in the points. And there's Chiva going through. Chiva goes through and up into fourth position. Now, I think from the way Patrese was passed there, he's got a problem. That's the answer to the Warwick problem. There he is in the pits. He slipped from sixth position down through the field. It looks as though his car's running all right, although a very slow pit stop from the look of things. It looks pretty leisurely to me. The thing that interests me is that Piquet's engine had to be changed after the warm-up. I noticed that he is consistently grounding something at the back of the car, which I imagine to be something around, or must be something around the gearbox area. And I'm wondering whether the engine was not as good as they had hoped it would be in changing it. Into the pit now comes Eddie Chiva in fourth position. And this is the first of the two Renault stops. Monsieur Tetou, there he is with his bald head and his earphones. Holds up on the other side of that board with 15 on it is 16, which is Eddie Chiva's number, so that he knows exactly where to stop. And out he goes, 12.6 seconds. Well, not a bad stop, but in these days of blue-perfect pit stops, not all that brilliant a one. Nothing to be ashamed of, though. And Alain Prost now right up with Nelson Piquet, lap 39. I too am wondering why Piquet doesn't go in or isn't called in, because both he and Prost seem to be determined to hang on until the last possible moment.
Yes, likewise. Quite right, Murray. I was criticising the team managers for not calling their men in, but the driver's perfectly at liberty to turn right and come to the pits of his own accord, and probably should do. He should, of course, always warn his pit, and there's Ferrari in the pits, René Arnoux making his stop, and a very, very good one in 10 seconds. So Ferrari, as you say, Murray, the blue-perfect stop. 10 seconds for René Arnoux, and he's very much in this race.
Well, you don't need me to say anything about Prost. Is he going through now? No, once again, Nelson Piquet shuts the door in his face at the chicane, and surely they're coming in this lap.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if they stay out there much longer, that when they've done their stops, they'll find that René Arnoux is in the lead, because he was only 4 or 5 seconds behind these two when he came into the pits. He's made a very fast stop, and if they keep going, soldiering around there as slowly as they're going at the moment, Arnoux is going to catch some on the road, and they'll be very pushed to get in and stop and out again and still be in front of René.
Now, is this the point where Alain Prost, as they go into lap 41, takes the lead from Nelson Piquet in the 72-lap race? Is he going to push through on braking it? No. Across his bows, holding the racing line, goes the very determined Nelson Piquet, who is really hanging on by his eyelashes now, no doubt about it. But Prost must be pretty relaxed.
I just don't understand Piquet's thinking. Why doesn't he come into the pits? He's got his own brain. He should, of course, signal the team to warn them 1 lap before, but he could signal them now and come in the next lap. What is the matter with him?
What is the matter with Eddie Cheever? He's already been in and made his pit stop, and here he is again, and he's been signalled to go out again. So obviously the Renault people are expecting Alain Prost to come in, if not this lap, then the next one. So will that give Nelson Piquet the opportunity to build up enough of a lead? I very much doubt it.
The most extraordinary thing, I think Cheever came into the pits for a social visit, because he didn't stop and discuss anything.
Riccardo Patrese making the first Brabham stop in 4th position, because Eddie Cheever, don't forget, has been into the pits. So now, as we look at the continuing battle for the lead, with neither Piquet nor Prost showing the slightest inclination, and Cheever is out of the race on lap 42. No, lap 41 as far as Cheever is concerned, and Prost and Piquet come together, and off goes Piquet out of the race, and he will be, of course, mad with rage. And whether or not he's justified or not, I don't know, because until we see the replay, James, we won't be able to see who, if either, was at fault. Nelson Piquet moves over, Prost gets a full car length almost in front of him, the back slides, the front slides, and he couldn't possibly avoid thinking that Prost is out of the Dutch Grand Prix. What an incredible development. Now on lap 43, Prost is out, having made contact with Nelson Piquet. Some people might say that that's rough justice, but for whatever reason, both of them out of the race.
Well, yes, and there's Prost with broken suspension going in and crashing his car, but rough justice or not, it's just about winning the World Championship, because Alain Prost's mistake, and this is how you win World Championships, because Prost is having just so much luck this year, it's unbelievable, because of all the people, he took out his one rival, right, but with his own mistake, Prost caused the accident, he deserved to lose the race, and yet he hasn't lost the race at all in real terms. And here comes Patrick Tambay into the pits for his scheduled stop. We've seen Ferrari do it very quickly already. But really, Prost is having so much luck because, as I say, he's taken out the one man who mattered, and it's terribly bad luck on Nelson Piquet. My sympathies really got him. And a fantastically fast stop again. But Tambay, as he gets away, still working quietly up to the field. He'd worked his way up to 5th place before the stop, but that was while Piquet and Prost were still in. So he's effectively up into 3rd on the road, and this now leaves René Arnoux with nothing much to do except quietly drive home.
Here's Watson coming into the pit. Let's have a look at how the McLaren mechanics deal with the man who is in 2nd place. Stop! There's the new gas jack in front. Up goes the front, the back has already done so, the second's ticking away. I told you they'd done it in 8 seconds, and what a super stop. No, John seems to be a bit slow getting away, but even so, it was only some 10 seconds. There's Patrese. Now look for Tambay. There he is. That's how close the battle for 2nd position is between number 6, Riccardo Patrese, the Italian in the Brabham BMW, and number 27, the Frenchman. There he is, Patrick Tambay. There's only 3.315 seconds, according to that caption, between Patrese 2nd and Tambay in 3rd position. So Watson 4th, and then the 2nd British driver in the top 6, Derek Warwick, in a fine 6th position and still on target to finish the Dutch Grand Prix and earn the first ever Tolman World Championship points, and for himself, of course. Mauro Baldi is now into 6th position. Alboreto is 7th. Winkelhock is down to 9th, having been passed by Boutsen and dropping back, because here he is coming into the pits to retire, I suspect, again, having failed already to finish in 7 of this year's Grand Prix. Well, there's 3 Grand Prix left after this one. Italy, and then the European Grand Prix at Brands Hatch, and then the final one of the year in South Africa, which I still have a feeling could be settling the World Championship. But next week, all these drivers are going to be testing tyres. They lead an incredibly active life. Between Grand Prix, they test tyres. And next Wednesday and Thursday, they're all going to be at Brands Hatch, having made the journey from here at Zandvoort to do a bit of tyre testing before going on to the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. So British enthusiasts are very lucky this year. They're going to have been able to see Grand Prix cars 4 times. Tyre testing at Silverstone, the Grand Prix at Silverstone, tyre testing at Brands Hatch next week, and then the European Grand Prix at Brands Hatch, which is a new fixture to replace the New York Grand Prix, which was due to have been held on September the 25th. Arnoux, about the lap, the 7th place man, Michele Alboreto. This is lap 55. Arnoux, of course, has been in for tyres some time ago. He'd made a very good pit stop in just 10.2 seconds. But if he's got time to reflect on anything in his current position, I doubt that he has, because he's a pretty busy man. He must feel very, very happy with himself, having left the Renault team on an emotional wave, an anti-Arnoux emotional wave last season. Thrown in his lot with Ferrari, and he passes Alboreto, and now has in front of him his next target, which is Mauro Baldi, who is in 6th position, to lap him. And he just drove out of the picture, as it were, so Mauro Baldi isn't very far away. And I think by the time the race finishes, Arnoux will have lapped everybody up to John Watson, maybe even up to his teammate Patrick Tambay, who is currently running in 3rd position. And I was saying that René Arnoux, if he's got time to reflect on things, must feel very happy with himself, because although he's had 3 failures to finish at Monaco and Belgium and Detroit when he was in the lead, incidentally, he's nevertheless already won 2 Grand Prix. He's closing up on Bruno Giacomelli. Into the pits again comes, no, this is Keke Rosberg waving his hand, looking pretty unhappy about something. Up goes the visor. He's talking to Neil Erden, and he's out of the race. Keke Rosberg retires from the Dutch Grand Prix. His teammate, Jacques Lafitte, having already done so on lap 56. Lap 56 then. Keke Rosberg, world champion, after a really disastrous time in Holland. 2 laps down, having qualified right down in 23rd place. Must be really looking forward, and that is Bruno Giacomelli off the course. The reason for Manfred Winkelhock's black rage was that he was black flagged. It's definite. He was push-started after his pit stop, and that is against the rules. You will remember that Keke Rosberg was excluded in Brazil for exactly the same reason. And the same rule has been applied to Manfred Winkelhock, which has taken him out of the Dutch Grand Prix. And this is lap 61, 72-lap race. Arnoux still leads in the Ferrari. Patrese and Tambay, there they are, 2nd and 3rd in the Brabham BMW and Ferrari, respectively. John Watson is the leading non-turbo car in the McLaren Ford DFV in 4th place. Derek Warwick, and how many thousands of people must metaphorically have their fingers crossed, hoping for Derek and for Tolman that he can stay where he is and get the first ever World Championship points for himself and his team after nearly 3 years of unremitting effort. And in 6th position it is still Mauro Baldi, and then 7th and lapped Alboreto. 8th is Boutsen, 9th is Sura, 10th is Johansson, and going well, and looking as though he's going to finish in the Spirit Honda for the first time in a Grand Prix, which will be a lot of reassurance for Frank Williams, who is going to be using Honda engines in his Williams cars next year, and who told me today that he is very hopeful, although he can make no promises, that's John Watson, that there will be a Williams Honda in the European Grand Prix at Brands Hatch on September the 25th, and that would be its first appearance. John Watson, 4th place. 5th behind him, Warwick. Now the gap between Watson and Warwick is about, or was about 17 seconds. And there is Warwick. Behind Warwick is Sura, but Sura has been lapped in the arrows. Keke Rosberg, retirement, misfire, and knowing what Keke feels about his lack of power and the fact that he can't do anything even when the engine's running properly, the fact that it would be misfiring was probably the last straw for him. There's Tombe through, my goodness, that was amazing, the way he shot through there, and Patrese in trouble. It looks as though, and now Giacomelli's going to go past Patrese, and once again it would seem that the man with the hardest luck in Grand Prix racing this year, Riccardo Patrese, is going to fail to finish for the 11th time in 12 Grand Prix this year. Look at that. There's no doubt about the fact that Tombe, and that out of the race in it, or spun off anyway, is Thierry Boutsen. There's not going to be many runners left at the end of this race. We're on lap 68 now, and the position is that René Arnoux leads, and he leads his teammate Patrick Tombe that we are looking at. I said the question was who was going to be third. It could well be John Watson, because if Patrese is, as I have suggested, out of the race, well, he's driving very slowly down the straight towards Tarzan now, having driven straight past his pit and us. But it's very likely that John Watson may be able to catch Patrese and take 4th place, as Tombe now comes up to the Ligier in front of him, and it is, of course, the Ligier of Raoul Boesel. And I wonder if Tombe certainly doesn't seem to be going any slower now that he has passed Riccardo Patrese and taken 2nd place. He waves a hand to acknowledge Boesel moving over and letting him through. And the gap between Arnoux and Tombe is about 24 seconds. There is John Watson, more Grand Prix behind him than any other driver in this race, and here he is coming up to Patrese. John is on his 148th Grand Prix. Only one driver has driven in more Grand Prix as we look at Patrick Tombe than John Watson has, and that is Graham Hill, who drove in 176 Grand Prix. Tombe, 2nd place. Arnoux ahead of him, and I was saying, but never finished, that we had this incredible sight in front of us as Tombe was battling with Patrese, of Mauro Forgeri, the Ferrari team boss, who is watching the race on television on a monitor set in the pit lane, and then watching Tombe as he comes out of the bend into the straight and goes past the pits. And Forgeri has literally been giving hand signals, which of course Tombe won't see, on how Tombe should drive the race, how he should pull out from behind Patrese and take it. Well, whatever, it worked. Tombe has got up into that 2nd place, and once again we are going to be seeing Scarlet Ferraris finish in 1st and 2nd places the most. There's Arnoux crossing the line. He is now on his last lap. René Arnoux, number 28, this great French driver in his 76th Grand Prix, with 18 pole positions and 6 wins to his credit already, with 34 World Championship points to his credit already, will get 43 World Championship points, and that in total, if he finishes in 9th place. And there, out of the race in the very closing stages, is Corrado Fabi in the Osella, and that means to say that René Arnoux will only be 8 points behind Alain Prost in the World Championship, and there are still 3 races to go. The World Championship is very much alive. Past Patrese again goes Arnoux, down into the closing bends of the 72nd and last lap in this Dutch Grand Prix, having won in Canada, having won in Germany, over the crest into the last right-hander, clearing Bosweet and Kuzaren Black. And the Ferrari mechanics are already on the road. I can see them. You'll see them first into sight. There they are. So another magnificent victory for René Arnoux with his teammate Patrick Tambay in 2nd place. John Watson gets 4 points for that superb 3rd place, and Derek Warwick gets his first ever World Championship points for 4th position. Mauro Baldi 5th and Michele Alboreto 6th. In World Championship terms, that means that Alain Prost continues to lead with 51 points, but now a new 2nd place man, René Arnoux, is only 8 points behind the leader. 3rd equal Patrick Tambay and Nelson Piquet on 37, Keke Rosberg 5th with 25, and John Watson closing the gap with 22 points in 6th place. In the Constructors' Championship, Ferrari have increased a lead now. They're 80 points to Renault's 68, Brabham 3rd on 41, Williams 4th on 36, and McLaren in 5th place with 34 points. And of course, one of the happiest teams here today are the British Toleman team, who today got their first ever World Championship points thanks to Derek Warwick coming in 4th.
Well, I mean, it's just fantastic. I mean, it's just what the team needed, and it's just what I needed as a person as well. I mean, even on the last lap, I felt that something was going to go wrong, but it didn't.
You've been slogging away at Formula One. This is your 3rd year. You've been a top man in everything else you've done, and you must have been wondering whether it was ever going to come good.
Yes, I mean, very much so, actually. I mean, every time the car looks good and we perform very well, some little silly happens, and the end result doesn't come.
You have been a desirable property in Grand Prix racing for a very long time now, and there have been a lot of people talking to you. There are a lot of rumours about you moving somewhere else for 1984. Is there any substance to them?
Well, yes. I mean, obviously I have a few options. I'm talking to a couple of teams, but my best option, the way I feel, is to stay with Toleman's and carry on, maybe not the way we are at the moment, but to change a few things. Hopefully this result will bring a sponsor, which is what we need, enough to develop the engine in the way that we need to compete against Renault or Ferrari. Or if that's not possible, maybe we change a few things, and still I think we then can compete with Works makes.
Well, I can't think of anything that anybody's ever done that would be more likely to attract a sponsor than what you have done this year. Now, I know you're busting to get away to a party, right?
Yes, I think for sure we will celebrate tonight.
Right, off you go. You certainly deserve it. Well done, Derek.
Thank you.
A very happy Derek Warwick then, and let's hope that his success continues in Italy in 2 weeks' time. But for the 2 World Championship contenders today, Nelson Piquet and Alain Prost, it all went wrong.